Welcome to another session in this course. I am going to be showing you how to use outer join in MySQL. I am going to be showing you the difference between the right outer join and the left outer join by demonstrating with example. We are going to be working with these two tables. The first table is this top 20 table. The top 20 table is used to record our top 20 customers based on the total amount they have paid for all the transactions they have made. However, we created another table which is called the top transaction table, where we record the top 20 customers based on the number of times they perform transactions. This is because we know that some of our customers might actually have one or two transactions, but because those transactions are of high value, it ranks high in the top 20 table. Let us know our customers who patronizes us several times in this particular year, and let us see if they are among the top 20 customers or not. To do that, we have these two tables. Now, what we want to do now is that we want to pull out the record of all the top 20 customers, that is the top 20 orders, and we want to check for those among them that are among the top transactions and those which are not among the top transactions. In order to do this, we will need to join the two tables together. But the question is, how do we join the two tables together? Do we use inner join or do we use outer join? If we use inner join, the problem is that inner join is only going to return the records that are present in the two tables. That will be the customers who are both in the top 20 and also in the top transaction. What we are looking for is not that. What we are looking for is those customers in our top 20. We want to have all of them. But at the same time, we want to know whether they belong to the top transaction or not. In order to do that, we are going to be using outer join. Let us start building our query from the scratch. In this particular scenario, I will make the top 20 table to be the left table because I want everything in that table to be returned. I'm going to use outer join, but I'm going to use the left outer join because I want my left table to be top 20, and then I'm going to join the top transaction table with this. What is our condition? The condition is that the customer ID in the top 20 table is going to be the same thing as the customer ID in the top transaction table. And then our top 20 is going to be represented as T, and our top transaction is going to be represented as TR. Let us join the tables together. Now, if you look at the output carefully, you will discover that now we have the customer ID and the total order. All of these are for the top 20 table. However, we now have record from the transaction table, that is the top transaction table, its customer ID and its total transaction. What this is telling us is that the customer ID 1 also have a record in the top transaction table, and the number of transactions it performed was 5. However, customer with customer ID 17 does not have a transaction in the top transaction table, and you can see this as we move downward. Now, if I go to the output panel, you will see that we only return 20 rows, and these 20 rows are for all of the records in the top 20 table. Like I said, left join will return everything in the top 20 table. However, it is going to return the ones that match its key in the right table. And this is what has happened here. We are able to see that each of our customers in the top 20 we can see those who also have record in the transaction table, top transaction table, and those who do not have record. Those who do not have record are represented as null. But look at this table, this customer ID, we do not want it here. There are two ways to solve that problem. One of the ways is just to come here and specify the column. However, instead of doing that, I'm going to try something, which is the using operator based on the customer ID. Let us run this query again. And here you can see that now we only have a customer ID and we have our records. This is why the using operator is very powerful. Now our output has become clearer. And this is how we can use outer join in SQL. I want to show us again that you do not need to put outer. As long as you have used left join, automatically is an outer join. If you use join, you are saying inner join. If we run this same query like this, we are still going to have the same outcome. Now, the point is that what if we want to reverse this thing and pull out all the record for the top transaction table instead of all the record for the top 20 table? What we can do is that we will just make the top transaction table to be the left table and we will make the top 20 table to be the right table. If we do not want to do that, we can just say, let us use the right join. When you use the right join here, the top transaction table is going to be the primary table or the table of higher relevance, and the top 20 table is going to be a table of lower relevance. That is, in this query now, every record of the top transaction table is going to be returned, and those of top 20 table will only be returned based on whether the customer ID is present in top transaction table or not. To understand that better, let me run this query. If you look at this query, you will discover that the customer ID here are the customer ID of the top transaction table. And you can see that the table has changed. Now we have all the record of all the customers in the top transaction table. We are now comparing them with those of the top 20 table. As you practice more and more, you will get to understand how these things work. Thank you very much. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification icon, and also like our videos until we meet in the next one.